Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Sorry again for the late upload, but like I've been saying, things are getting kind of funky with my schedule lately, but I think it's finally over and we should be getting back to some normality very soon. So, again, sorry for the inconvenience, but we have a really packed Mods Weekly this week. There have been so many mod releases, and mostly in part because a certain mod author decided to really bring their A-game and drop about 7 mods all in one day. And that was just a crazy day for all of us. I know a lot of people in the Discord were very excited for all of these new mod releases, and so most of those are going to be covered in this video here. Now, because of the vast number of mods that we're going to be covering in this video, I may be rushing through them a little bit just to make time for everybody. So, I'm sorry if there's a lack of detail, but this is just a brief overview of the mods that have come out during the week. If you want more detail, most of these mods actually have full reviews on the channel that cover every single feature inside of the mod, so feel free to go ahead and check those out. So without further ado, our first mod is the Oil Can Weapon by El Ha. This is a super unique and interesting weapon mod. It adds a new method of combat to Fallout 4. You can find this new oil can, which will actually do exactly what it says. It will dispense oil. There's no bells and whistles, that's really all it does. However, if you're familiar with how oil works in Fallout 4, there's a little bit more to it. So this is really more of a tool than a weapon. You use it to dispense oil onto the ground, and then you can shoot said oil to create a nice fiery explosion to dispose of your enemies, or just to have a little bit of fun. That part's really up to you. So, like I said, grab this oil can. You can grab it from Arturo at Diamond City and start dispensing oil. It will take oil from any of the scrap items in your inventory, and if it's already converted to oil, it will convert that item on the fly. It will give you 30 uses, but all you have to do is switch to another weapon and switch back, and it will refill it. So you can really use this as much as you want, as long as you have the oil for it. And these puddles of oil actually link to each other, so if you put them close together and you ignite one, it will ignite the one next to it. So you can set up some really fun chain reactions, or use it to block off hallways, use it for a tactical advantage, to circle your enemies into one direction, or just to deal a lot of damage. It's really up to you. This is a really cool utility mod, and a really interesting and neat one, so go ahead and check it out. Up next, we have the Musgrave Handgun by Grillzone123. This is a neat little early game weapon. It is added to the leveled lists. It reminds me a lot of the 22 long rifle pistol, except it is not integrally suppressed. This weapon does feature custom animations, and it's just a neat little pistol. Really nice texture work. I love the model for it. It's nice and simple, has really good iron sights, and it's just a useful little pistol. Again, a nice early game leveled list weapon. It's just something to add some variety and some spice to your game. There's not a whole lot more to it. The modifications are relatively limited, but again, early game pistol, so that's alright. I know a lot of you guys ask for early game weapon recommendations, and this is one that is definitely going to fit that bill. So if you're looking for more weapons like that, this is definitely a good one. Up next, we have another pistol mod, and that's going to be the 1911 Moses by JSnyder193. This 1911 was actually dropped on the Nexus a long time ago as just a model and texture, and Jay Snyder has gone and implemented it into the game. This mod does use vanilla animations, but that's not a problem for me, and this is just a very lavish version of a 1911. So if you're trying to play an over-the-top Raider Kingpin with a nice sidearm that's engraved with gold and silver and nice wood furniture, this might be up your alley. Or maybe you're trying to play a gentleman who uses charisma mostly, but occasionally needs to switch to a fancy sidearm, then this might fit your bill as well. This is just a really nice, unique take on 1911s. We get a lot of 1911 mods, so this one definitely brings something different to the table, and just gives you something to try that's a little bit outside of the norm. This weapon is currently only available on PC, but who knows, maybe we'll see a port sometime in the future for all of you Xbox users. Up next, we have the Immersive Animation Framework by AnotherOne, aka RetroPaladin. Now, before we get into this is where things get a little bit interesting, because every single mod from this point forward will be by RetroPaladin. So, as for the Immersive Animation Framework, this mod adds a ton of animations to in-game healing items and other useful aids. There have been mods in the past that will add animations to things like different drugs and chems, stim packs, Radaway, RadX, different healing items, but this mod actually does all of the chems and all of the food items, and they all actually have unique animations as well as unique models. So if you drink a dirty water or a purified water, you'll actually see the difference. You will be using a different bottle when you drink it, which is super cool and not present in most of those other animation mods. This is a really awesome, cool mod for those people who like the immersive animations. Now, when Fallout 4 first came out, I didn't know if I was sold on the whole Stimpak animation thing, especially because the only thing that was animated was the Stimpak and the Stealth Boy. So having the lack of animations was kind of weird, but having this mod where every single healing item is animated, I love it. It's so perfect, it's immersive, and it's just so awesome, especially if you actually equip these things to your hotbar and use them in-game in real time. It feels so nice. So this is a great animation mod, and I highly encourage everybody to try this one out for themselves. Moving on, we have a beautiful little machine pistol, and that is the Technine by RetroPaladin, aka AnotherOne. I'm just going to go ahead and not say AnotherOne or RetroPaladin for the rest of the video because every single mod after this point is by him. So, the Technine is a beautiful little machine pistol. A lot of people might recognize it from things like CSGO and other media, and this one is just a great fit in Fallout 4. Uses some really nice custom animations, has a good bit of customization, lots of optic options, as well as even a custom skin, which I really enjoy. This is added to the leveled lists, and you can find it pretty early on in the game on Raiders and Gunners, as well as find it at the store. This is a nice option to have for those early game leveled lists. I really like this one. Super cool machine pistol. Moving on, we now have the PP91 Ketter. Most of you may recognize this from Escape from Tarkov. I have not personally seen it in other media, but I'm sure it exists out there. It is a Russian little submachine gun. Also uses the same animations as the Technine, has very similar customization options, and fits a pretty similar role. Both of them use 38s, have a pretty low base damage but a high rate of fire, except this one just has a different aesthetic to it. As I very incorrectly stated in the actual review of this actually does come with optics and options for that. You just have to unfold the stock first, so my bad on the full review. But this one is really, really cool. I like that you have the options to switch between one-handed and two-handed animations, and also change the stock accordingly so that it fits that style. Really, really cool mod, and I enjoy seeing the Kedr make its way into Fallout 4. Moving on, we have the RSH12 Revolver. This is actually 2 weapon mods in one. Now this one is not added to the leveled list, but that's okay. This is a big Russian revolver that can be found on the Yangtze in 2 versions. One is the standard version of the revolver, very high damage, good bits of customization, and a lot of scope options. And the other version is actually a Gauss pistol. So it's a revolver that uses the 2mm EC rounds and shoots out the Gauss rifle projectile. And that's super cool and unique, and it actually has its own custom unique model. Both of these have custom animations, and the Gauss version actually has a good bit of optic customization as well. So both really cool high-level revolvers, packing a lot of damage and definitely intended for the late game. Super cool mod. Up next we have CyberOut 77. Now initially I had looked at this as just a new sword mod with some custom animations, but I was incredibly mistaken, and we will be seeing a full review of this shortly because this mod actually has a lot of stuff in it. There are a ton of new swords. They are not added to the leveled list, but can be found at the new Sword Museum location, which is right outside of Swan's Pond. You can find a bunch of new blades, and then you take those to a chemistry station and you can build the swords that you want, of which there are a ton of. They all have a decent amount of customization, just about as much as any other melee weapon in Fallout 4, and most importantly, access to some custom first and third person animations. And it's not very often that you get to see third person melee animations, so that's really, really cool. These totally change up the way that you use swords in Fallout. I really enjoy the animations. They are super cool and obviously inspired from Cyberpunk 2077, which is great for me. I started Cyberpunk, never finished it, and this really makes me want to go back and finish it because the swords and the animations in this look perfect and they just match so well with Cyberpunk style. So I really enjoy these. And there's some really cool sword options. You may think that these are just going to be a bunch of katanas, but there's actually some kind of Fallout looking swords as well, including one called the Induction Blade, which has some tech hooked onto it and it appears to be heated. Super cool. Lots of really cool swords in this one. Up next we have the Laser RCW Reborn. Now you may recognize this Laser RCW from AnotherOne, but this one's just a little bit different. It is a full standalone mod. It doesn't have any more requirements. You can find this at the Sentinel site, or you can find it in the level list, as it is added to the level list via a script. There are a bunch of modifications as usual, and this is just a nice, beautiful model for the Laser RCW. So if you've been looking for one, but you didn't want to have to deal with all of those requirements from the last version, this is a nice standalone version now with its own unique bells and whistles. So really great mod, and if you enjoyed the RCW New Vegas, there's no reason not to download this one. And finally, we have the YK42B Reborn by RetroPaladin, aka AnotherOne. Had to say it one more time. So, the YK42B was actually a mod that came out a while ago by 3Nikki, but this has been completely refashioned into a new weapon with some different aesthetics as well as some different animations. This is going to be a unique weapon, not added to the level list. If you want to find it, there is a small hint listed. You can find it in the glowing sea at a bunker. Think power armor. So that's going to be a nice little scavenger hunt for you. And the YK42B now uses the lair animations, which are some beautiful animations, and I think it fits this weapon really well. Now, I think a lot of people prefer their weapons to all have very unique animations, but I'm a little bit different, I guess. I like seeing the cross of different animations on different weapon mods to make it believable that this is actually a magazine style in the universe, or in this case, a battery style. Something that was actually used on multiple weapons and was adopted as a common thing. So I enjoy it personally. The use between the different animations actually being used on the same thing, that's not a problem for me. I think it looks really, really nice. So this is an awesome new alternative for an energy weapon that you can try out using those awesome lair animations with a good bit of customization as well. So with that, we bring this video to a close. 10 mods in one video for a Mods Weekly. That's pretty cool, but really nice to see all kinds of new mods for Fallout 4. Glad to see that this modding community is really thriving. Once again, lots of content coming out in the past month. I'm really happy to see Fallout 4 getting a lot more modding attention. And because of that, I ask you to go out there and support your mod authors. They work tirelessly to provide us with amazing mods and such awesome content for free. So, do anything you can to support them. Endorse, donate, anything within your capacity to show that you care and appreciate all of their hard work. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and you want to support the channel, drop a like, subscribe, get all that stuff that gets us into the algorithm and gets more mod recommendations to the people that are looking for them. Also, I'm gonna plug myself really quick. We are now streaming on Twitch. We actually had a New Vegas stream last night, and I do plan to have some more streams coming in the near future. So if you want to try that out, I'll link my channel down at the bottom underneath all of the mods if you're interested. So if you ever want to come by, check out a stream, hang out for a little bit. Streaming on Twitch, we don't have a schedule yet, but we'll be doing a lot of different types of games. Lots of Fallout, as well as some other Fallout style games and even some variety games. So stop by if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for your time. Peace.